El Salvador already uses Bitcoin as their official currency for 1 year. Since the president announced this, you probably saw a lot of it in the media. But the big question is, what is really happening on the ground?
Behind me are the Bitcoin miners.
How did the introduction of Bitcoin really go?
We didn't know anything. Still, the people don't understand that.
Are the locals really using it?
Is it possible to pay with Bitcoin?
The media says that El Salvador is one of the most dangerous countries in the world. But is this really true?
Don't go to El Salvador. They're gonna rob you.
So I want to know what the real impact of Bitcoin is on this country. And therefore I traveled there and talked to locals and tried to uncover the truth about Bitcoin in El Salvador.
This is El Salvador, guys. You just gotta cross some rivers to get where you wanna go. This is Jeff. Hello, Jeff. In theory, every store here should accept Bitcoin. Since this is the first time I'm in El Salvador, I needed to learn about the process of introducing Bitcoin in the past. So this is Josie, a Bitcoin core developer, and he was here last year.
When I was here the first time, people just felt completely overwhelmed. They were like, oh, I'm sorry, like we haven't gotten the Bitcoin thing working yet. We're trying to, but it's just really hard. And so a lot of times, I would always ask people, hey, do you prefer cash or Bitcoin? And generally they would be like, well, we prefer cash, but we are trying to get the Bitcoin working.
In the beginning, when the president announced it, I didn't know anything. I was kind of afraid. And I think that's normal, we didn't know anything. I think it's a really human thing.
He personally remembers 21 years ago how the El Salvadorian colon was exchanged to the US dollar.
The whole country was like, oh, we don't have colons anymore. Now it's just dollar, and everything increased the price like almost double. And that's why I think a lot of people was refusing the Bitcoin at the beginning. And still, the people don't understand that.
So let's dig into where this confusion comes from. Last year, the government launched Chivo, a wallet that allows you to send both Bitcoin and US dollars using the Bitcoin network. They launched a major marketing campaign to teach people how to use it, and every citizen received $30 to help them learn about the app and how to use Bitcoin. The campaign was a huge success, with over 4 million downloads. However, eventually, it wasn't anymore.
The problem is Chivo. Frankly, it sucks. It's full of bugs, it does not work, the UI is very confusing. It happens very, very often that your transaction, they disappear into thin air.
They said that the transaction was declined, but on my Bitcoin wallet, it showed that it had gone through.
And this is the thing, they cannot tell the difference between Bitcoin and Chivo. For them is the same thing. There is a big lack of education in this country. So Chivo does not work. For them, Bitcoin is not working.
So on the next day, it was finally time to explore the education happening in El Salvador about Bitcoin.
Where we are about to meet the kids. A lot of parents actually already here, and obviously a lot of Bitcoiners.
We visited Mi Primera Bitcoin, which focuses on teaching young El Salvadorians everything they need to know.
This is the last step of the full Bitcoin diploma. So for the last 9 weeks, they've been learning about Bitcoin, about the fundamentals, why it's important, and how to use it, most importantly. And this is just to demonstrate that they understood what Bitcoin is, how a wallet functions, and how a transaction is being processed and how to recover it as well.
He's writing down his seed phrase, so don't put the camera on it, okay?
No.
We gotta keep that private.
We're not gonna rug him, right?
We're not gonna rug him, no.
After this, we're going to practice recovering using Blockstream Green wallet. And then from there, we're going to have him send the coins out of his Blockstream Green into his Moon wallet.
If they were able to handle their own coins, they graduate as a Bitcoiner and get their diploma.
The ceremony is starting behind me. You see all of the students.
Behind behind me right now, the ceremony is ending. They're getting their diplomas for successfully becoming a Bitcoiner and knowing how to handle their keys and how to send a Bitcoin transaction. What do you think?
What an historical moment, guys. They are like 10 years ahead than any other of us.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Now 7 schools are running a Bitcoin diploma in cooperation with My First Bitcoin, Mi Primer Bitcoin. 1 year ago they were thinking about doing something like that with the government. So in only 8 months we have 7 schools and we already did 12 diplomas. Great. That said, not enough. We need them all. We need every damn school in this country running Bitcoin diploma because we need an army of young Bitcoiners here in this country if we want this thing to succeed.
Yes. But there is even more education happening, not only for the citizens, but for the government itself as well. And that was where I was headed next.
Ready to go.
In the heart of El Salvador, there is a thermal energy plant called Berlin. So actually, this is a power plant where they use the thermal energy from their ground here to extract energy and power their own Bitcoin miners, which is a pilot project which the whole world could learn from. The pilot project tries to explore if it's possible to use the untouched volcano energy in the island to utilize it for Bitcoin mining. Behind me are the Bitcoin miners. You can hear it and you can feel it. It's warm. By integrating Bitcoin mining into the energy grid, they are able to achieve a couple of things. First of all, Bitcoin miners are a consumer of energy whenever you need them. Therefore, you are able to balance your grid as you please. And second of all, you would be able to build energy infrastructure where it wasn't able before. Those energy plants use the heat from volcanoes to make electricity. They do this by heating water with the volcano's heat, which then turns a turbine which generates electricity. Since volcanoes provide a constant source of heat, this method is both clean and reliable. The government tries to attract foreign investment for all of those infrastructure projects. They even want to build a city. But there is one factor which was scaring off a lot of investors.
And we used to be inundated with gang members.
Gang violence had a devastating impact on El Salvador, causing widespread fear and suffering.
The biggest change has been in the security of the country since the state of emergency was started in March.
The government of El Salvador has taken action against gangs by arresting over 60,000 people who are believed to have gang affiliations. This crackdown has been met with both support and big criticism.
Before, if you walk in this aisle, they take everything from you.
Really?
They, hey,
Here,
give me,
right here?
Yeah, right here. Right here. They say, hey, give me that, give me this, give me.
The biggest pushbacks are coming from human rights groups, who have raised concerns about the methods used and the potential impact on violence in the future.
More than 20,000 have been arrested in a highly publicized campaign.
But all El Salvadorian people I met were quite happy about the efforts to reduce the gang violence.
When we arrived, it was quite a culture shock. So this was before all the big gang crackdowns.
That's the way it was. That's why they used to say, don't go to El Salvador. They're gonna rob you.
Really noticed that people feel a lot safer to go out by themselves, on foot, with kids, even in neighborhoods where there wasn't a lot of foot traffic before.
I mean, we've been here for 9 months now, and we've had lots of great experiences in that process.
So this is exactly my experience in El Salvador. I mean, I am a fucking gringo, and people were shouting after us, hey, gringo! And basically, I went to the busiest streets and markets where only locals were, and the people were super nice. Even at night, we've been to one of the busiest places in San Salvador, and we only found people who were super welcoming, wanted to dance with us, wanted to tell us about the city, and no signs of any crime or any violence. Hey, 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 hey! And we danced so long that I wanted to get a water.
So the shop apparently accepts Bitcoin. We're trying to do it.
I hope so. I asked, and yeah, since I don't have dollars and they would accept euros, I've got to pay with Bitcoin. That's the way. Hey, Bitcoin.
So we paid our waters with Bitcoin. Let's go!
It worked quite fine. They just called a friend and the friend had Chivo wallet, and actually she didn't really know how to operate it. So first you have to say you have to receive money, then you can say you receive it via Bitcoin, and then there's the switch where you can choose whether you want to receive it and have it being converted into US dollar or no. So she wanted to have it being converted into US dollar. So then I clicked on Bitcoin paying via Lightning. The QR code was created. I scanned the QR code, paid, and everybody was happy.
Nice!
So now we have to talk about one of the most polarizing topics in El Salvador, which is Bitcoin adoption.
There are people that are saying you can't pay in Bitcoin everywhere, which is fine. It's not like this is a switch that turns on overnight.
Coffee shop doesn't accept Bitcoin.
Now we have to get rid of fiat.
Only 20% of people who downloaded the app kept using it after spending a free $30 credit from the government.
We are at the airport, they don't accept Bitcoin, they want us to pay in cash.
Do you prefer Bitcoin or a fiat?
Efectivo, sí.
I think it's interesting what sort of expectations they must have had when they say 15 to 20% adoption is a failure. For such a young nascent currency to be adopted in 15 to 20% of the shops, I think is a great success.
Is it possible to pay with Bitcoin? Con Bitcoin? Con Bitcoin. Done. Easy, just gonna scan it. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Done.
Sending it and there it is. Easy as it gets.
You got to give time for the bottom to grow in as well. How long was it before your father got a credit card, Max, or maybe even a cell phone? Just because the kids have cell phones doesn't mean that the parents or the store owners are going to have cell phones. It's the same with Bitcoin. Give it a chance. Give the adoption a chance to permeate, or the concept to permeate the population so that adoption goes parabolic.
The important thing I want you to understand about El Salvador is that it's not primarily about the Bitcoin adoption. It's way bigger than that.
We have lost in most of the races for human progress over the eons.
The opportunities that we had, it was just basically very stable, but very stable going down all the time. And right now, even to this kind of risky times, things can change. I believe we have the opportunity that things go really good or that things turn out really bad.
We here in El Salvador, I think we still don't realize the big opportunity that Bitcoin is for this country.
With all that we've seen going on in the world in the last couple of weeks, you really see the corruption that's involved in any centralized system, right? Whether it's FTX or central banking. And Bitcoin being the only pure decentralized digital asset is the alternative.
Bitcoin journey for El Salvador, still early days. Nobody knows how it's going to play out, but you can envision a potential very successful future where things are much brighter.
All that being said, people don't accept it. It still feels magical to me to be able to walk places here, pay for my coffee, pay for my lunch in Bitcoin.
Building a protocol is a 20-year business.
So for me, this journey really made clear that this is a longer process. We are in the first innings of the Bitcoin adoption in El Salvador, but also worldwide. And my goal is to take you on a journey to show you the stories how Bitcoin evolves slowly over time. And I'm funding everything here on my own. So if you want to give me value, then please feel free to do so. You can send me sats, you can also just subscribe to the channel, to share this video, and let me know what you think about it. What can I do better? What stories are you most interested in? Because my main goal is to give you the stories behind Bitcoin and what the people really are building. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for your time. See you in the next video.